Bloodborne is one of the most highly praised games I've ever seen, but despite seemingly everyone loving the game, the people who actually own the IP seem to hate it.
No, they don't do anything with it. They hate it. They hate you if you like it.
It feels like at every single major game showcase, everyone always holds out hope that a Bloodborne remaster will be announced, only to be sorely disappointed when they see something else. But I've never played Bloodborne. While I've played other games in the Soul series and enjoyed them, I was always scared of the 30 FPS cap that came with it. So I decided to cope with everyone else and wait for a re-released version before seeing what all the hype was about. But spoiler alert, that day's never coming, at least not anytime soon. So that's why I finally played Bloodborne for the first time, to see if this game is worthy of the remaster people desperately want. After setting up my character, I was instantly let loose into the world with no way to protect myself, and it literally took me 5 seconds to realize how bad this was. I actually don't think I can play this game. It looks terrible. I've went back and played games capped at 30 FPS before, but something about this game made it insanely hard for my eyes to adjust to. It essentially felt like going from watching IMAX movies every day to a Shrek 13-inch CRT TV. After a scripted death, I get my weapons and head out to face the first boss. This boss had a surprising amount of HP to me, but after a couple tries I beat him and officially made it further than 90% of people who got this game bundled with their PS4. After that I fight this dude in a graveyard that has a special ability where he turns into this werewolf thing every time I play a song on the music box, which made the awkward process of getting it worth it. Alright guys, in game, where would I find a little girl? After that, it's on to the cathedral. I head to Old Yarnum and kill the boss there. Nope, not this one, but this absolute demon.
I should think you still have dreams. Well, the next time you dream, give some thought.
And then I catch my second STD of the playthrough.
I'd like to tender my thanks, but I can't. All I can give. But would you even take a whore's blood?
Oh. Ooh. While exploring some more, I get hauled off to jail for my crimes, but somehow the boss right outside is free, even though the lock-on that boss is the real crime. However, with the help of my good friend Commander Anal, we make quick work of him. Alright, have an oil urn. Bruh. Have a Molotov. After that, I face a couple more bosses that I get past pretty easily, and my ego is at an all-time high, until I run into this bum. It's not like this boss is insanely hard. In fact, in his first phase, he only has one attack along with his skeleton army, but in his second phase, he has the dumbest move of all time. Oh, I canceled it. Okay. If I hit him, I can cancel it. This is so troll! Pair that with chasing him in circles for a while, and that's about 3 hours I'll never get back. After finally beating him, I get the best looking helmet in the entire game, and then get a letter inviting me to Canehurst Castle. This ended up being my favorite area in the game, up until I ran into these little things that are so powerful that when they scream, it hurts you in real life. Stop! After defeating the Ice King from Adventure Time, who might just be the coolest boss in the main game, I slam Murgo's Wet Nurse first try, and then go get crushed by this bug and enter the DLC. FromSoft DLCs are usually noticeably harder than the main game, and this one is no exception. The first boss I ran into was Ludwig, which I had actually heard of before, because people tend to say he's one of the best boss fights. But to me, he was just alright. He actually did end up being pretty challenging though. Part of the reason being, every time I got him to half HP, he would play a cutscene that would bug out my game.
Bergsy, thanks again for gifting me the money for my circumcision.
After killing Ludwig, I make sure to get his weapon, kill his head, and then proceed to put all my points into Faith, only to never equip the weapon again. I also find this guy in a prison cell, so I take it upon myself to set him free, only to find the key, open the door, and realize this guy is me in 2 hours fighting the next boss. You're free! Living Failures is the next boss I fought, and the name is fitting because never in my life have I felt like more of a failure than when I whacked these blue dudes for like 10 minutes, only to be hit by an asteroid and start from square one. This boss is probably the worst in the entire game, and I absolutely hate these stupid blue Luckily, in the room right over from them was my favorite boss in the entire game, Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower. This fight was not only super cool, but also felt like just the right amount of challenging to me. This fight felt a lot like Melania in Elden Ring, if I was good enough to be able to kill her without my good friend the Mimic Tear. After that, it's time for the Orphan of Kos, which is famous for being one of the hardest Souls bosses of all time, and I can see why. While this boss is really difficult to beat, it feels like everything he does is fair, and he doesn't have any insanely broken moves like some bosses. Even though I was stuck here for a while, I think this is a really well designed boss, and if you take the time to learn his moves, he's beatable. Or you could just have 24 vials like me. After I finished the DLC, I went back to go clean up some of the side bosses I hadn't done, and the amount of times I got sucked while trying to get to them made me wish that I did skip them. Bro, what is this cringe ass enemy? Stop sucking me! The final boss is Gurman. In a plot twist, it turns out that he never needed his wheelchair, but unfortunately for him, he's still old. So I parry his slow ass and put him in the grave, along with the moon presence that has this really cool attack that can stop you from healing. I can't heal! What do you mean I have no potion? After all that, I get turned into a worm, and that's how it ends. That's it, I'm a worm now. So after playing Bloodborne for the first time, do I have a boner for this game just like everybody else? Yeah, I can't lie, this game is really good. That being said, the game isn't perfect. The game has features like healing as a resource that just end up making you waste tons of time farming. This feels especially bad because I feel like a major part of Souls games is dying over and over again until you get something right. But when you have healing as a resource, it feels like you're overly punished for trying to learn. The game also has other minor flaws here and there. Oh, funny emote, awesome. But the core of this game is great. The world and music is beautiful, and it felt like I could actually get a sense for the story just by playing the game, which for me is surprising because I've played Elden Ring like 3 times. And if you ask me what the story of that game is about, I really could not tell you. It's an actual shame that this game, for the majority of people, is buried behind a 30 FPS cap, and I genuinely don't understand why Sony would be so unwilling to remaster this game in any way. So does this game deserve a remaster? Absolutely. But the truth is, that day will probably never come. If you enjoyed this video, YouTube thinks you might like this one, or you can click here to subscribe.